When we speak of the meaning of life, we begin from the prejudice that we are speaking in the first person singular. Meaning, we think, is what justifies me, what reassures me, and endows me with a sense of purpose. But it is precisely here, it seems to me, that our modern ways of thinking go astray. From the premise of the self in its isolation, the existentialists concluded that no one can answer the question of the meaning of life save the one whose life it is. And yet, why should that be so? Cannot others look for and find the meaning of my life, and in doing so turn failure to success and coldness to love, as we strove to do for our mother? Redemption does not come from the self, it comes from the other. It comes because we acknowledge in our being that we are not alone, that what matters to us, our salvation, is the love, compassion, and forgiveness that others extend to us, and through which we are incorporated in the larger community on which we depend. I am I to myself only through recognition that I am you to you. And the I to you relation, so easy to recognize and so hard to describe, lies at the center of any life that is recognizably human. We grow into the web of personal relations, and doing so we become persons. We become free and accountable beings who recognize in each other the transcendental perspective that reaches from I to I across the inert world of things. The relation between persons is one of accountability. Whether stranger or friend, business associate or intimate companion, the other person is answerable to me, and I to him. The question why do you act, think, feel as you do, governs our relations and imposes on each of us an obligation to respond in kind. At the same time, the network of personal relations imposes a burden on us. We are compelled at every point to take responsibility for our feelings and choices. And the temptation is to avoid this responsibility, as my mother so often did, or else to retreat from others entirely, so as to regard them not as persons, but as things. It is in this second tactic that we discover the original sin of the times in which we have lived, the sin of wiping away the personal face of human interactions, so as to leave only a depersonalized and objectified world. For me, the most vivid example of it has been the transformation of society by systematic control, such as we witnessed in the communist states of East and Central Europe. Accountability in human relations begins to disappear just as soon as they are reconfigured as power relations, and all aspects of consent, affection, truth-telling, responsibility and love are marginalized as mere side effects, which makes room for the customs and institutions through which we account to each other, law, religion, morality, and so on, only as epiphenomena, features of the superstructure that do not tell us what we really are. I consider it a great good fortune in my own life that I was brought face to face with that project as a result of a visit to Eastern Europe in 1979. Communism had been normalized in Eastern Europe. It was maintained in being by a routine of connivance, whereby ordinary people renewed their own imprisonment and learned, as Havel put it, to live within the lie. Punishments were comparatively light, and if you steered through life according to the official signposts, you could get to the end of it without seeing the inside of a jail. Yet despite this comparative lenience, the essence of the project remained, which was to undermine all trust between people, even in their most intimate relations.